I've lived enough to walk away from waste and nothingness I'd never seek to be a part of. So what the hell has made me stay? To travel down this road, you know where this will be the start of. So fool me once and fool me twice, then fool me one more time to keep this cycle of my shaming. Let me forever pay the price, till I don't know which way to point or who the hell I'm blaming now. Did I ever allow what I can't disavow? I am this here and now, here and now. I've lived enough that I should learn what is a fantasy and what is truly realistic for someone who don't like to burn. I sure as hell like to jump in the fire masochistic. So set me up and knock me down, justice and candlelights over the torture I'm forgetting. Let me forever be the clown, put in those hoops and strings until you got me marionetted now. Did I ever allow what I can't disavow? I am this here and now, here and now. This time I crawl out of the hole. It may seem bottomless, but I can't do this shit forever. You cast a fool, I play the role. But now I take a bow and exit stage left to wherever. Send me to heaven or to hell. Don't leave me sitting, waiting in this stinking limbo riot. Just give me some way I can tell if this dream's still alive or if this nightmare's been forgotten now. Did I ever allow what I can't disavow? I am this here and now, here and now.
Hey, what's going on, guys? It is your old pal, Johnny Bravo, aka Mr. Kingpin, here with another Ska Talk. Today, we have the displeasure of having with us the infamous, notorious Rev Sin of Hub City Stompers, all the way out from, well, not New Jersey, but from Jersey, repping New Jersey. Oh yeah, you are in New Jersey. That's right.
How else am I going to do?
I was thinking
I know it's a Friday night.
not the Hub City, but
No, I'm not currently in Hub City. I'm not currently in New Brunswick. I'm not in Exit 9. I'm in Exit 7, Bordentown, at home, as you see.
and a nice home.
And I'm missing my mom's. I'm missing dinner at my mom's for this, so you better make it fucking good.
Oh God. All right, guys. Well, thank you for stopping by for another episode of Mr. Kingpin. and we're going to just let let him go get his mama's cooking.
I'm missing Ann Patricia McHugh's cooking for this. So.
Well, all right. Well, too bad. You signed up for what you signed up for. How you doing, man?
Story of my life. I'm doing good. It's a Friday night, baby. You know.
Yeah. Oh, I'm glad to finally have you on the Ska Talk.
On Scott's. All right.
Yeah.
I was going to say you had your chance in the Tovar's hot tub and you didn't take it. So yeah.
This is true. I had a couple chances, but I did spend all night with James Kelly. So
don't try to get me jealous.
So man, like what the heck have you been up to in the last 2 years? Anything new or interesting?
Like
At all?
It's such a roller coaster. It is such a roller coaster. We're like, I've done couple interviews during COVID and have the COVID ready answers. And then early in the summer, it looks like everything's clearing up and like, we booked a few shows, that are happening at the end of summer. And, start thinking ahead to the future. And now everything's going to shit again. So it's like, I don't even know what to say. I don't even know. Well, we planned on doing this, but now we're doing this now. So it's just.
Have you had to change something again though recently?
So, I mean, thankfully what we don't have to change is that we're all of AGS is vaccinated. So we started rehearsing again back in May. And thankfully that doesn't have to stop. We can keep rehearsing. As far as live shows though, I don't know what's going to wind up happening this fall.
Yeah.
I was ready to start cranking them out and then, but I'm glad we got these 4 up in the Northeast and the Mid-Atlantic, I guess if you count Supernova. But I don't know after that. Like I'm kind of putting the brakes on because I don't know what's going on.
All right. Just like
we'll go back to just making the virtual performance videos again for a while or what?
Yeah, those were all the rage. And you've done, as we saw before the show started on the top, you guys pretty much did a video like that for your new song that you guys released.
Yeah, because that was still back in spring. I think that was pre-poke. So we were still doing, just videos and stuff and getting out what we could to at least release. And we can't do live performances, so we do these videos. And then that was actually a new song. It's our newest song that we're actually able to quote unquote release. I mean, we only released it on Bandcamp and via that video. We'll probably record it on the next album as well, and another version of it. But
okay, I was going to ask if that was like a single or a precursor to a new album.
Yeah, you could say that. It's definitely a precursor because we definitely, no matter what happens, I mean, again, I wish I came back to the live fantasies I had for 2022, but we'll see.
Yeah.
But we're definitely going to be recording either way. I mean, 2022 it's going to be our 20th year as a band. It's going to be 20 years of HCS.
Oh, that's a big one.
So I had 20th anniversary plans. I've had them for like 10 years. But so I had them, tour plans for the 20th anniversary and stuff, but we'll see what happens with that. Definitely recording plans and release plans though. I mean, without a doubt. I mean, we've been writing new stuff, while we've been in this state. Everyone in the band has been we've been having to come from all directions. So
yeah, with everybody inside, you kind of get that pent up creative energy and start, making new, just like you guys did, right? With this song. And I was able to finish an album pretty much throughout quarantine. We started recording like the week before all the lockdowns. Say what?
That little home studio you have behind you there?
Yeah, my little project studio in the corner of my bedroom. Man. So, all right. Well, I wanted to, I guess, kind of pick your brain on kind of like the past, coming up in the ska scene and how you got into all this music.
Pick away. I mean, it's at your own peril, but pick away.
So, like, what got you into ska music in the first place?
I mean, if you're talking the very, 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 very first place, like when I first heard it and whatnot, that would be via my dearly departed older brother. He was about 3 years my senior. And he got into lots of underground music. I'd say when he was from junior high to early high school, and he would blast it from his room, the house we lived in at the time, and I'd hear it. But he sure as hell, he's my older brother. He doesn't want his little brother coming in his room bother him while he's blasting, post-punk and reggae and ska and hardcore stuff. And so when he would leave, I would go in to his room. He had this beautiful boombox, double cassette boombox. And if he was out for a while with his friends, I'd just crank the tunes and listen to him, be like, oh wow, this is great, like Husker Du and
oh wow, yeah,
English Beat and Replacements and Madness and all this great stuff, which I had never heard before. I've always been into music as a kid. I didn't listen to we sing silly songs and stuff. I was like, when I was in second grade, there's a picture on there somewhere I know on the internet of me dressed up as Ace Frehley for 1978 Halloween. But like Kiss, and then I liked the Rolling Stones, and actually saw them when I was in fourth grade. Then the Police, and then but that was great. But this is all relatively mainstream stuff still. But this underground stuff that my brother was playing out of his room, I was like, it was all different. So I would go and investigate and check it out and listen to it. And if I could get away with it with enough time, I'd take a blank tape and I'd copy, because there's a dual boombox, and I'd take it and listen to it on my own. I had my own tape recorder because I would listen to whatever rock and roll stations, and I also got into like very early hip hop back then when I was a kid in the early '80s.
I was literally gonna say you would listen to Run DMC.
Absolutely. Well, he got me into Run DMC. Actually, he introduced me to hip hop as well at a slightly earlier point than that. But then, that was underground music became my life when I started attending shows. And it was a funny joke. Hardcore was really my real home. I listened to everything, and I listened to all kinds of underground, but hardcore was my favorite, and it was my home. And the promoter of that local club, City Gardens, always made a joke like, "Oh, you should start a ska band, haha," or something like that. I thought it was hilarious at the time. I was just like, I'm a hardcore dude. I'm going to start a ska band. I like ska and all, but I'm not going to, and me being in a band as well at the time was a pretty hilarious notion to me. I was used to the other side of the stage.
Oh, you didn't have any aspirations?
Yeah, look what happened. Who the hell? Not back then. I was just young and angry and looking to fuck shit up. And I wasn't looking to perform on stage by any means. And I didn't see myself in that light at the time. Who, me? Oh.
No, not you. Sorry.
Who you talking to?
I was talking to us. Well, where were we? Sorry, I got distracted for a second because it looked like we lost.
Oh, but you asked me how I really got into it. And that was literally, you're talking about the earliest introduction. It was my older brother gets credit, and then certain friends of mine in high school get credit as well, because once I found the few like mine. I lived in a very suburban place during the week with my mom. My parents were divorced, so I lived with my mom in suburbia during the week, and then my dad in Trenton during the weekend. And Trenton was where City Gardens was.
Oh, right on.
But I was in high school in suburbia, so finding like-minded individuals like myself who were into what I was into, was a rarity. But I found a few. My friend, my oldest friend, literally my oldest friend, Matt O'Neill, got into it with me, and we explored that and heard underground music on the college radio stations, from Trenton State College and Princeton, and my friend Mike Thorndike. And so there was a small community of us. And then when we started going to City Gardens, obviously that community grew, expanded a lot.
So I know that I had lost my train of thought for a second because I thought my streaming stopped for a little bit. So If you guys still see us and everything, it looks like everybody's still commenting. But I was wondering, because you were saying that someone suggested you get into a band, and that wasn't an aspiration that you had. But
not at the time. No, not at the time he suggested it.
So we got a couple people here just saying hello. Chris Bourbon, what's up, y'all? And let's see, Guillaume Collard, Droogies in the place. Beta Rude.
Oh, ça va? Ça va, le mec?
Stephanie Joe from Kung Fu Sound System. She's saying
I'm still trying to prepare for hanging out with Carlos and Stephanie for Supernova. It's Snow Queen and I are cleansing. We'll get ready.
Oh man, I gotta get in on those plans. Jenny Whiskey. He did have so when I asked you if you had aspirations, she's like, but he did have perspirations.
She was right. She's absolutely right. I did have perspirations. Perspirations continue to this day.
Oh my gosh.
Heavy perspirations.
Bim Scala Bim. Hey Rev. And Johnny.
Chris McGill. Yeah, Chris McGill. He knows. He was there in the early days, along with me at the City Gardens and all the Jersey clubs.
That's right. And that's crazy. He lives over here.
Vision.
He lives over here now by me.
Yeah, he's down with you guys now. He's another Jersey expatriate running off to Texas, for Christ's sake.
Crazy stuff. So
Alabama, I saw at City Gardens actually back in the day, prior to my being in a band. Thank you.
First time I ever saw Bim was with the Bosstones. It was like a triple threat Boston tour with the Bosstones, Bim, and Dropkick Murphys. Like in the
I saw them early on,
late 90s.
I think it was the late 80s when I saw them. What was her name on the band? The female co-vocalist. I forget her name, but she was I was like, wow, talk about, things that would get me into ska. That was one of the bands where I was like, wow, this band's awesome. And Bim was the shit.
So what was your intro into getting on stage?
Well, getting on stage, that was, I had some kind of like joke-esque kind of quasi-punk bands in high school where I would play like rudimentary bass. And
really?
Everyone in HCS is probably, yeah. So I don't know, Greg, our drummer Greg, I don't know if he's watching now, but he will once he hears that I'm talking about playing any instruments, because he finds it a great source of amusement and intrigue. Me having anything to do with any kind of instrument, because I'm not a musician in that sense. Like, I have a great ear for music, I can write stuff, blah, blah, blah. But if you put like music in front of me, I don't know what to, I go to HCS and I have a melody in my head, like, y'all got to tell me what the notes are, because I don't know what the hell this is. But that said, ear-wise, I can play rudimentary bass and rudimentary keyboard. And it's always been rudimentary, and it remains rudimentary to this day. I write the songs. I'm not sure what notes I'm playing. They let me know.
I don't know. Rob George is saying that you're quite the accomplished pianist.
I think he must be doing talk to text, and he misunderstood the word.
Gotcha.
But yeah. What Christ was I saying? And then Rob George threw me the fuck off, you asshole.
You had good ear. You had a good ear for.
Oh, so yeah, I was never a musician per se. And that's why, it's probably why I never pictured myself in the band. I was so into the music, enjoying it, I never picked myself on that side of the stage. But in the high school, I played a quote unquote quasi punk band. It was BS. We did a bunch of covers and stuff. But it was when I moved to New Brunswick, New Jersey, Hub City. And there really wasn't. There was plenty of hardcore and plenty of like alternative and punk and post-punk stuff. There was barely any ska. The only ska that existed at the time was a band called Panic, and which became Bigger Thomas. My first tattoo ever right there was my Panic tattoo. This fella here, I got on a rooftop in New Brunswick, New Jersey, back then, and I paid the guy, I believe, in Pop-Tarts, not cash. But that was the first one. But I loved Panic because they were the only ska band in New Jersey, and I loved the symbol itself spoke to me as a mixed kid.
Yeah.
So when Inspector 7, or I'm sorry, not Inspector 7, when a band called Agent 86 in 1992 formed, I was like, wow, another ska band in New Jersey. This is great, and in New Brunswick, no less, and with my friends in them, no less. I'd known Giuseppe, or as I knew him, Joe Mancini, back in the 80s, from the New Jersey hardcore scene, New Jersey skinhead scene. And so when my roommates in New Brunswick, Stephanie Landers, Quincy Bright, people I knew also from City Gardens, I was like, oh, those New Brunswick kids, Eric Schroeder, Lord Scucci. They formed a ska band in New Brunswick called Agent 86, and I was psyched. I was like, all right, another ska band. And I was the number one drunken fan showing up at the Melody Bar and the Brighton Bar and wherever they would play, dancing along and, and then they changed their name to the Crash Bars, I think, in 93. And then towards the end of 93 is when they changed the name to Inspector 7. And I don't remember I don't know if it was Giuseppe or if it was Scucci who approached me and said, hey, they had the kind of like the side toasty guy, it was a guy named Jeff Silverman. That had been his role in Agent 86 and Crash Bars. And I think he had departed by the time they were called Inspector 7, just prior to 94. And that's when they approached me about being, hey, do you want to join the band? Do you want, I was like, what the fuck are you talking about, me? And they said, well, yeah, when you're out there, gallivanting on stage, you got this presence and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, I don't know, and the way they talked to me, you could do pick it ups and this, and I was just like, so that turned me off right there. I was like, oh, okay, I see. Y'all want me to be like the hype man, and y'all want me to be the Flavor of ska. And I was like, nah,
so, Travis Nelson, I was the Flavor of ska.
Yeah, well, that's what it sounded like to me. So I wasn't so sure. And then, but whatever. They said, no, you can write stuff and sing songs and whatever. So I started writing stuff immediately. I sat in on a couple practices up in the attic at the Gingerbread House on 106 Welton Street. And it flowed nicely. It was just, it's like I was hanging out with my friends, and just like having a good time. And come February, I was playing live shows with the band, and that was that. It was 1994, February 1994. I think was the first show I performed with Inspector 7. And then the rest was history. It was a 20-year history after that. So that's how I got into performing on stage in a band.
Wow.
Per se.
And how long were you in Inspector 7?
1994 to 2014.
Wow. That's a long run.
Well, yeah. I mean, it was a whole dimension. It was a whole world. It was a whole history. It did open up a whole different dimension for me. It was, I never looked back,
Yeah. And I got it. I remember I was actually living in New York at the time, but I never went to any shows, unfortunately, but I found out about Inspector 7 on that Boys compilation.
Volume 1 or Volume 2?
Volume 2. Volume 2.
Halloween?
Yeah. And that song, Popeye, man, I don't know what it is about that song. And I know I bug you about it every time I see you. Like, are you guys going to play that? And
so,
I think I still have yet to hear it.
HCS we've played it live a few times. We brought it back for a few years.
Yeah.
Relatively recently. We were playing that for a while.
I was super.
I'm old and senile, so Rob and Jenny and maybe Greg would probably remember how recently we played that. We brought that one back for sure.
Yeah,
that's a classic by 17 that we were playing for a while, but we haven't played that in a while.
So I went to the big. I remember before moving back to Texas from New York, I went to the big. What's that big music store? It was like the big music store in Manhattan in the Lower Side because I was across the bridge.
Is it like a chain or is it like private?
No, it was like the big chain music store. I forgot. It was
music
like
store is a record store.
Record store. Yeah.
Tower.
Maybe it was like the big one. And then I found Tower. Yeah. It was Tower. And I found the first album, which I was like, oh my gosh. And so I was like listening to that album all the time. And so 20 years, I think you, if I'm not mistaken, you guys, that's when you guys went and did that tour again, right?
Well, when you mean the last tour I did with it?
Yeah, when you guys toured, I thought it was for an anniversary.
I don't know. So we
maybe not.
I7 kind of fizzled out around 2001, and wasn't really playing anymore. And people got kind of like, it sucks because it was the worst time to do it. Like, I understand everything was starting to die, and there wasn't a lot of romanticism left with it wasn't the mid '90s anymore, and
right.
Things were fizzling out, and touring was kind of pain in the ass. I always loved touring. I don't care how dirty and unromantic and whatever it was. I loved touring. But I mean, some people are like, it's pain in the ass. I'm going out and for months on end and coming home with nothing in my pocket and sleeping in closets. I get it. And I don't know, 2001, I don't even think we practiced a whole lot, much less toured, played shows, and we just kind of fizzled out. And it wasn't like a last show or anything like that. I'm like, are we done? What's going on here? And that's the whole reason I started Hub City Stompers. Fall of 2001, we were done. We weren't playing anymore. So I started looking for other members to fill in the cracks, because half of Inspector 7 lineup at the time came with me to Hub City Stompers to keep playing. And so I filled in the cracks and started Hub City Stompers in 2002. But in 2003, Inspector 7 started playing again, like twice a year, or once or twice a year. We started doing like, quote unquote reunion shows or whatever you want to call it. At least I think it's how they were labeled at the time. Inspector 7 never officially broke up. We just kind of stopped playing. It was just kind of left in the lurch. So 2003 started playing again. Usually it'd be in New York and New Jersey, play like twice a year. Shows would pack out. Fun time, awesome. And that was the pattern for a while. And then I don't remember the year we even started recording that last album, the third album. Ramen me, I can't remember. So, but
I know there was
Giuseppe,
a long span of time where you guys were sitting on that music. Yeah,
it was mostly Giuseppe and Predator's idea, and was recorded in Predator's studio. Predator being the guitar player for Inspector 7 all those years, and then it was finally released in 2012, I believe, is when the actual album was released. So. And that's when there was lineup changes happening with HCS, and Giuseppe approached me about, hey, want to bring I7 back full time. And my first instinct was, well, I can't do two bands full time, particularly with how busy and rolling HCS is. It's just not going to happen,
Yeah.
But we, at least on paper and at the time, worked out details to how it could work. And the long and short of it is I can go into the whole long diatribe like I have in other interviews, but we essentially merged the bands, because I didn't want to throw away all the material I'd written with HCS, and I certainly didn't want to lose the amazing musicians I've been working with as well.
Yeah.
And in that transition, I had to lose one that we'd been working with already.
I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of a bummer at the time to hear that.
Right, yeah, well, exactly. And in my brain though, and I try to think back to my mindset at the time, like there's still momentum going, and why were we, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I guess I could have said no, or I could have just been like, hey, why don't we just keep it going part-time? And it just stuck. Like, not only did I have to, do it that way, but it's like a lot of the original I7 members who probably would have been fine with being involved, location and circumstances notwithstanding, weren't involved. And that's the other thing. It's like, it didn't feel like authentic Inspector 7, you know what I mean? Like, with certain people not involved. But that was the only way I could have done it. And Giuseppe agreed to it, so we did it.
Yeah.
It didn't work out. We did it for about a year, and that's what you're referring to, was 2013.
Right, because
we toured.
Yeah, you toured. I think you guys came to Dallas during that, and then we also saw you. We played with you guys in Des Moines at Fistful of Ska that year.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We did Fistful of Ska as Inspector 7 that year. And you remember, even in that set, it was mixed material. It was the bulk of the HCS lineup and Giuseppe and myself.
Yeah.
But it just, like, you know, it didn't work out for various reasons. And on paper, it seemed like the most wonderful idea. But then in retrospect, I'm like, okay, I see why this is working. Like, I knew better, you know. He probably knew better too, but, you know, he's passionate about Inspector 7. He wants to keep the name going, you know, and I guess he would do it at all costs. And he, you know, a lot of the agreements and arrangements that we had agreed upon didn't. And it's just like, well, if I'm going to run this band, you know, I don't want to have a hell of a time doing it. Like, I wasn't enjoying it even. I was enjoying being in the, I'm going to be in the band. It has to be your passion. It has to be your love.
Right.
It was becoming miserable for me. So whatever, we sat, we had an adult conversation about it. We parted ways, and that was that, you know. Still doing his thing with Inspector 7, and I'm doing my thing with Upcity Stompers.
Yeah. And I know you've had some lineup changes.
Was the last live shows we had was, I think there was 3 of them in January 2014. So that's why I say 1994, 2014.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Now you've definitely had a few lineup changes with Hub City Stompers, but I think it's been very solid for quite some time now.
It's been a pretty solid lineup for, I don't know, I'd say damn near a decade. I mean,
yeah.
It's like the only tweaks were keyboards and drums. But it's been a pretty solid lineup for a good amount of time. I mean, the last lineup change we had was when Pip left in what was that, 2017, I think. And but that it's been like that ever since.
Yeah.
You know, it's been pretty solid, and it's been pretty not to say I wasn't happy with the lineup before, but it's been working out, you know. It's
well, you know, I mean, no, not to, I mean, lineups come and go, you know, people for various reasons have to go, but I feel like your lineup right now has been very dedicated, like very core, you know, everybody. Now it would be like really weird to see someone go at this point.
I don't know. It's felt weird even when people have had to go in the past, and like I said, the whole thing I did with Inspector 7, like, that should have felt weirder than it did, you know. At the time, looking back, I'm like, wow, that was fucking weird. Why the fuck did I do that? You know what I mean? I should have just kept like, hey, let's just keep doing what we're doing and work it out. But whatever. That's a past.
Yeah.
That's fucking, you know, damn near, you know, almost 10 years ago. But yeah, like, I mean, even when Pip left, you know, like, I was.
Well, yeah.
You know, thankfully, he didn't leave us hanging, thankfully, and he was, you know, gracious about it as far as timing is concerned, and, you know, but still, I'd start getting accustomed to that and accustomed to that sound, and he recorded Haters Dozen with us, you know.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's the type of band we are, though. We adapt. We, you know, I mean, Greg, who had been playing keyboards, took over for keyboard player Kurt, who had come in with Inspector 7, and then when we stopped doing Inspector 7, continued with HCS again. Took over for him on keys, and then he hopped on drums, and you know, that was that. And
yeah,
then
that was.
The member who I mentioned, we had to sacrifice when I did the Inspector 7 deal, Hanoi Jason Salvaggio, he's now back in the band. So it's like, it was weird. It's a weird full circle.
Yeah. It's and it sounds great. We got some. Do you see the I don't know if you see the comments in here, but we got some more people. Hey, Lady Tattoos.
Oh shit! Dallas.
Saludos, amigos. And
that's Dallas representing there.
And Nuno, of course.
Well, Nuno. I've seen Nuno. Nuno's the most famous commenter popping up, and I can't even keep up, man. But I was like, but that's Nuno. It's like when you're talking to him, it's the same fucking way. You can't keep up. You cannot keep up.
Yeah.
But he's right. So he's referring to what I was saying about the lineup change in 2012. Like Nuno had a daughter, and Nuno had been the HCS drummer. Like that's between that time and 2004, or 2003 actually. So the very raw original lineup when we first transitioned over, Nuno wasn't in the band at the time. Adam X was actually on drums. We call him Adam X because he plays every goddamn instrument. He's currently in Ska Fest actually. So and he came over from Inspector 7 and he switched from trombone to drums. But he played trombone, he played guitar, he played bass, that's why I called him Adam X. And then Nuno had been a presence in the family for forever, and he had filled in and played with Inspector 7 in the 90s, and so we all know Nuno. He was in a band called Foil. He used to play with Inspector 7 on a quite regular basis, and he became fan early on, and so and Nuno and Adam X were very tight. So so it was inevitable that he was going to be the drummer for Upcity Stompers. There's
the Green Goblin. The
Green Goblin, baby. And he's a mover and a shaker. He's always got something going on.
So the very first
time, a scooter club, be it a sound system, be it a band, he's always got something going on.
Soccer supporters.
Yes, I'm sorry. How could I leave that out?
Yeah, you can't leave that one out. Yeah, I remember the very first time you guys came to Chicago. I somehow bamboozled you guys to come out for next to nothing. Just like, guys, come to Chicago. I'll set up a show for you. And
first time?
Yeah, the first time. And
that was you?
Yeah, that was me.
The 2005 show?
Yes. With Fear City and Deals Gone Bad. Yeah.
Yep. I was just show. And the first time we met, I'm wearing my FCS shirt.
That's right. It all works out. But yeah, I remember in the back.
It was amazing. That was a great show. Sorry, go on.
Nuno explained to me in great detail why he was called the Green Goblin in the back.
How much explanation do you need?
It was a story for another day. Yeah.
He explained it without words. Well, yeah, he had been a major presence and a defining presence in the band for a very long time. So when he had to kind of step back to be a dad,
he said he's all about that dad life.
That was the transition. I was like, well, do I want to, and Giuseppe approached me at the same time. I was kind of like, I don't know. I considered losing Nuno a major lineup change. You know what I mean? Like, right. It was like, oh, what do I, and I don't know. It just seemed like when G came in and asked me at that precise time, I was kind of like, oh, maybe this is a sign. Maybe this is, you know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah.
That's part of the reason kind of why you entertained the idea to begin with and went along with it.
Yep. Tazy Phillips saying...
Basically, it's Nuno's fault. Like most things, it's Nuno's fucking fault.
Tazy Phillips is saying hello.
Okay.
We got Jeremy Pena.
Who?
Jeremy Pena from the Bandulus.
Oh. Well, yeah, Bandulus and...
But in the back in the day, the Trenchtown Texans. That's right.
And one of the, just some of the funnest times we had on the road was with Ryan Scroggins and Jeremy and the Trenchtown Texans. That was some of the best tours and tour memories of Hub City Stompers history. Yeah. Was with them.
So
aside from being awesome musicians, they're great people.
So what was the deal with the Droogies Don't Run? Droogs Don't Run.
Droogs Don't Run. Droogs Don't Run was an amazing plan that I hatched for Supernova, and it was going to happen. But hey, we can actually blame COVID for this one. Some key players in the lineup that we kind of need to pull off the concept to call it that and define it what it was. You can see what it is on the Droogs Don't Run page. We're not going to be present. It just with the schedule keep changing and move from this date to that date to that date. We have people trying to fly in from Sweden and shit.
Oh man,
you know what I mean? And it's like we're trying to reunite members of a certain band, as many as possible, and it's just they're spread out all over the world and the country, and it's no easy feat. And COVID just fucking made it even a less easy feat, and having to reschedule the show, but it was a wonderful idea. It's just there's this whole family that was established in 1997 when Inspector 7 toured with the Squadettes.
Yeah,
and that connection and link. We started calling ourselves Droogies back then, and Inspector 7 used, the whole skinhead scene throws around the clockwork terms,
right?
And that's that. But we as Inspector 7 very freely used that term with and used it to define people who were family and close to us, Squadettes, Meth Scoffleys, etc. And so I was like, well, this what a great opportunity to try to bring this back 2 decades later in this format. And
man, I was there for it too.
Yeah, believe me, it's. I was surprised that when I thought, or when it seemed like it was actually going to happen, I was amazed. I was like, wow, like there's 7 Squadettes and HCS all in one. You know what I mean? All prior members and everyone who had this connection from before, all on one stage, playing a set that people wouldn't believe.
Yeah, I
was psyched. But as soon as everything started hitting the fan, I had a feeling. It was gonna. I had a bad feeling, and then sure enough,
I was holding on hope.
That said, That said, I hope you don't think that I would just like let this go. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying, if there's anyone who like refunded their tickets or is not going to Supernova because Droogs aren't, anyone specifically who wanted to see that, who's not going, I'll say this much: you're going to be pissed if you did that and you're not going, because believe me, there's still some things happening to hold on to conserve that element. That's all I'll say.
Ooh.
Yes, it's Hub City Stompers that replaced Droogs Don't Run, but I mean, come on now. We can't let everyone down completely, right?
Wow, you guys heard it here first.
How did it say that much? If you're like, Droogs Don't Run ain't playing, just HCS, well, fuck you. You're gonna be sorry. That's all I'll say.
All right, you guys heard it here. So, speaking of Supernova,
yes.
I just want to mention to everybody that's watching, in case you don't know, it is sold out, but they are now offering a live stream. And I wanted to... I'm just plugging the live stream for those that would like to catch Supernova all 3 days. So I'm going to show you guys a little bit more about it, and we'll be right back.
The Supernova International Ska Fest is sold out, but that isn't the only way you can see the show. We're going to multicam live stream over 30 hours of ska. Watch it from anywhere in the world on the Mandolin streaming platform. It's going to look and sound like you were there. September 17th through the 19th, 30 hours of ska for 40 bands. The Toasters, Mustard Plug, Chris Murray, Bim Scala Bim, Matamoska, Bucko 9, The Slackers, The Pie Tasters, Hepcat, and many more. Buy your tickets now on our Kickstarter for only $17, a 50% discount, and no 15% platform fees. That's less than $6 per night. Once the Kickstarter is done, the price goes up to $34, so get your tickets today. Log on to www.supernovaska.com or click the link in this post. Buy your tickets now. We want to see how many people love some SKA.
All right, and we're back. So, we definitely hope that you guys can all catch Hub City Stompers. You guys, what day are you guys playing? I think Sunday,
We're
right?
on the Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's a church. It's a religious day, so naturally.
Of course. We're playing Friday. Are you guys?
Afternoon mass.
Yeah.
Oh, you're going on Mad early.
Yeah, we're actually opening the whole thing, man.
I know. I'm trying to rush my ass down to catch you guys.
Yeah.
Because we're Thursday night. A certain member of a certain band is coming down to meet the Snow Queen and I in Dirty Jersey, and then we're going to Philadelphia Airport to pick up another certain member of a certain band, and then we'll probably drive to like Maryland, grab a room, sleep some, and then continue the rest of the way to get to Supernova.
Right on.
Trying to make you damn set at noon, but
hey, man,
cracking noon.
Just happy to be there. So we haven't really covered your albums, but your albums. Now let's jump into HCS big time here. They have a wide range of themes and stories and anecdotes, anecdotes. Where do all these things come from? Is this all like true stories that you're putting to music? Because some of these things are like
some of them are so. It varies, just like our influences vary, and just like the styles vary. So do the themes. Some of them are just, some of them are specific. You could say some of them are specific. They range from specific things that happened to references to things that happened, or just the general theme of something that maybe I or someone else had experienced in life, to things that maybe didn't happen, but things that are issues that we think about. It varies. It depends from song to song. If there's specific songs you want to ask about, feel free. And I'll be fine with getting specific, but in general, they come from all over the place.
I don't think we have enough time tonight to get into specifics.
Blood, I've never committed necrophilia. Okay, I've never actually done.
Okay,
but I'm just saying that's my point. Is that what I mean?
Yeah.
And a good rule of thumb with HCS is when the melody is kind of light and happy and bouncy and basic, the lyrics will be commensurately fucked up, and the theme will be commensurately fucked up. So when you hear an HCS song and it starts out kind of nice and light, you're like, oh, this is a change. It's really not, because the lyrics are no doubt going to be something that's going to upset somebody.
Oh my gosh. Let's see here. We got Chad Rogers asking, any chance of Distance Water playing at Supernova with Cooley Ranks?
I don't remember if that's on the Supernova set. It would stand to reason that it would be. Hold on, wait. Where's my blue folder that I fucking bring the band practice? I don't have it on me, but
And George Fox, that's a handsome mulatto right there.
Well, I mean, George Fox, and despite his shady history, we know what he likes.
I'm waiting for
Chad. I can't remember, Chad. It may or may not be on there. It would stand to reason if it was, but it might not be. But why are you asking about Supernova when we got a show next week in New Jersey?
Boom, boom, boom. Hey, yeah, tell us. And give us some details on your shows.
In Brooklyn. So we're going to be playing it in Jersey, and we're going to be playing it in Brooklyn. So why are you asking about Supernova? I mean, come on. You're a lot closer to,
You want to throw
the Jersey show is free.
Throw the details out there for your shows, or just have them go to your...
Yeah, so these are our first shows back in 20 goddamn months. So everyone who's like, oh, I miss live shows. I miss live music. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see, you jaded mother. But yeah, Friday, July 27th, we are playing at Four City Brewing Company in Orange, New Jersey. It's just us and the beer there. It's actually their second anniversary as a brewery, and it is Roger from Rude Boy George / Bigger Thomas fame. It is his brewery and his partners, and it's their second anniversary. And what better event to have an HCS comeback show at it than that? It's 21 and up because it's a brewery. So sorry, but if anyone's like, it's 21 and up, well, guess what? The next night we're playing an all ages show in Brooklyn, 2 rivers away. Okay, so I don't want to hear it. And that's going to be a banger. So it's like it's just us, the one set playing at the brewery on next Friday night, and then next Saturday night in Brooklyn at Kingsland, Brooklyn. We're just gonna smash the freaking pipes down. But the sets are actually different. There's some similarities, but there's definitely some differences. So, I mean, if you can catch them both, catch them both. But if you're not old enough to get into the brewery, then definitely catch the Brooklyn show because it's going to be off the chain. It's us, The Take, Murderers Row, and Violent Way. It's going to be nuts. But they're both going to be good shows. First shows in 20. We literally haven't played since December 2019 because of all this horseshit. So, and then we have a show in Connecticut on 9/11. Just look it up on our event page, and with the likes of Bruntovitz even playing that one. It's gonna be nuts. And then Supernova. So right now we're keeping it East Coast, Northeast. I'm not booking anything else because I'm not sure what's happening with the whole Delta variant thing. So if you want to catch us, if you want to catch Upcity Stompers, catch one of these shows, catch one or more of these shows. Because
so that's for Charlie Davis's question about Dallas anytime in the future. That there you go. We got to wait.
We're not flying anywhere.
Yeah.
And we're not flying anywhere while all this shit's running rampant and everything. You know what I mean? Like in my brain, I had all these plans for 2022. Everyone's like, I just keep seeing these memes about fall plans. I'm like, fuck fall plans. I had all these tour plans for 2022 on our 20th anniversary and all these places we wanted to hit again. But because the shit's still running rampant so much, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know. I can't make plans. I was planning to hit Florida in March. I don't know if that's going to happen now. Obviously, Texas is one of our favorite places to play on the actual planet. We want to get back there so badly, but not if shit's all fucked up. What are we going to do,
Yeah. We can't even.
Here's the hope. I hope we play. I hope we go back to 3 Links and kick ass.
But we will make sure that certain people are not at 3 Links.
Thank you.
Certain sound people.
We just discussed that. That's gonna live in infamy. It's never gonna go away.
No, you got to write a song about it.
Our friend Rob Alatik recently booked the show, and apparently there was sound issues. It was Pilfers, Rude Boy George, and there were sound issues there, and it brought back memories of that night because Rob and Jenny are in Rude Boy George, and all they could do was make reference to that Dallas night. I don't know if it was that bad. I don't know if anything can be that bad as it was that night.
Oh man, I don't know. I'm still waiting on a Hub City song about that night. I know
I can't.
It's just
the fact that I almost let the Green Goblin off the leash that night. Well, actually, no, I did let him off the leash and gave him free rein to assault the sound man. That's all I'm saying. That's how you know it was bad.
Yeah. Yeah. So, any plans? Well, I know we spoke about it earlier. You guys are actively, or kind of like semi-actively, writing for another album, as you mentioned earlier.
It's funny because this next album, the authorship is and composing is coming from all different directions, and we just, hey, let's try this new one and this new one, and we're currently practicing in Hannah Jay's basement, and he has a very handy little eraser board list of songs and stuff, and when we look over, like, oh wow, we've got damn near an album's worth of songs already, like, this is great. So no matter what happens, whether we're playing live or not, we're planning on putting out. I feel we should put out a new album in our 20th year, as well as some, I won't say too much, but some retrospective things in certain ways that we're also talking about and working on.
Well, speaking of that, I was going to bring up a really, the Blood, Sweat, and Years. I thought that was really cool. It's funny, listening to it, it's like there's some songs I think just out of what do you call that, when just because you've heard it for so long,
right,
it's
that
like,
certain way
recorded. There's some songs I still prefer on the original album for some reason.
It stands to reason.
But I think that I forgot the word. I'm missing the word I'm thinking about.
Nostalgia?
Nostalgia. I think it's the nostalgia. But really, all in all, that album is it sounds so good. It's like all the modern technology. It's like you got to like throw the first album into a time machine into the future with all the new engineering. Yeah.
That's exactly what we were trying to do. I wasn't trying to erase Blood, Sweat, and Beers by any means.
Right.
It's our first album. It's our baby. It's our, it's the first Hub City Stompers record. But all I was saying is that, it was our first record. Recording wise, we were, figuring things out production wise and everything. And I love it for what it is. Don't get me wrong. But at the same time, we've been playing these songs for, all this time. And not to say that they've evolved into completely different songs per se, but like with the lineup now, like we were talking about, this lineup we've had for years now, performing these songs live is how you hear them. I wanted that element translated onto a record.
Yep.
That's all. And I wanted these songs, which I think are great songs on that album. There's and it's not just that album. I had Mass Appeal songs on there as well. But I wanted these songs translated to just the tight and upgraded performance and a upgraded production of how they sound now.
I totally get that. Yeah.
But at the same time, we threw in some new stuff as well. You know what I mean? Just to, I wasn't trying to like redo the records per se.
Right. And I think you're up to 3 versions now of Sum of 3. So.
Yes. Well, we should stop at 3. 3 versions, I think. Sum of 3 versions. That's it. We'll never have another version.
Okay.
I mean, unless like we go to the 4th.
I'm waiting. Yeah, I'm waiting. I'm waiting for the sequel to that. Well, tell you what, I'm going to leave it here. And
you would.
What?
I said you would.
Oh, I thought you said something else. Because I respect your time, and I'm going to have you back on another time when we talk about more stuff, and maybe we can get a whole group chat. And
yeah,
but I'm respectful of your time.
Next time. We'll have Jenny Whitby on next time.
Yeah, that would be cool. We could do like a multi-window thing.
The Hoot having her on.
But I want to thank you for coming on tonight to Ska Talk and hanging out with me and giving us some history on your bands and what you're doing. And we didn't even get to talk about Steel Toe Solution yet.
Why do you think? It's the only reason George Fox tuned in was we were going to talk about Steel Toe Solution.
Well, here we are. It just happened. No, there you
go.
That's a great album as well. Any future album plans with that, or you just keep that as a fun thing to do?
Or Steel Toe Solution. It's my eternal side project. So it's like, as little as HCS has been able to produce during this pandemic, STS has commensurately produced less, But we have practiced a couple of times as well. We're all vaccinated. We start practicing again this spring, and we are looking to release new stuff.
Oh, okay.
There's new stuff in the pipe. There's new stuff produced and introduced to the band. I'll say that much.
Nice. And you got Rob George there, right? And you got Greg there.
Listen, you got half of HCS in STS. Plus you have Tim Miller from Broken Heroes, and Blank 77 in there as well, and whatever other 11-7 bands he's in. So we got the whole 3. We got 3 guitar orchestra there. So yeah, when the new STS record does actually happen, I don't care if it's an EP even. It's gonna be off the chain.
Awesome. All right.
But it'll happen. And yes, in volume 2 we can talk about STS. So
there you go.
Plenty to talk about there. It's really Jerry's band. He should be talking about it. It's Jerry D's band, not mine.
Well, we'll have to have some STS talk very soon then also, because I love that band as well. Everything you do, man, everything you're involved in, magical.
if that's what you want to call it. Thank you.
Yeah. All right, Travis. We can please everybody that already doesn't do all these things, make sure that you're on their Facebook, Instagram. They're on Facebook at Hub City Stompers NJ, Instagram Hub City Stompers, and of course they have their own website that you can find all their music and links on. So make sure to also
We update it every once in a while.
Yeah, I was on there. Hey, it looks good. It's got
Greg. Oh, it looks great. Greg does it. Greg actually maintains it, but I mean, he can only maintain with the information I give him, which is very fleeting. It's not his fault. It's my fault. But we will update it soon. I promise.
Do people even go to websites anymore, though?
I don't know. You're asking the wrong old ass person here. I don't.
Hey, Tim Receiver says hello. See you both at Supernova.
Does he really? Actually, maybe we can ask him. Tim, when you announced the COVID vaccination requirements and the negative test requirements for Supernova, I know there are a few refunds involved. Are there still tickets available for Supernova or not? Just curious, because if so, we'd like to announce it here and let everyone know that, hey, if you want to get your last chance to go to Supernova, and if you claimed you like ska and you're not even trying to go to Supernova, I don't know what your problem is. But I was just curious if there were tickets left. There might be tickets left. I didn't want to spread false rumors. We didn't want to spread false information and have a bunch of people hit you guys up. But anyway, actually, just go to the Supernova 2021 Supernova Facebook page and you'll say.
Yeah, he says there's a few on Eventbrite. So
okay.
If you're catching this and you wanted to go to Supernova and you couldn't get tickets before, I guess you can buy tickets from all the crybabies that refuse to get COVID tests. Jenny Whiskey. I wish I could take credit for that. And there's a link in the chat there for everybody to click on, so maybe you can scoop some last minute tickets here. We're in the home stretch, bro.
Yeah, man, it's coming up. I'm telling you, people, if you, this is my appeal to anyone who said, "Oh, Drew's don't run any plane." Go back and rethink and get your tickets now, because you'll see. I'm not saying anything specific, but you'll see, and you'll be sorry you missed it. That's all I'm saying.
Man,
the Drews will be representing one way or another. That's all I'm going to say.
So glad I got my tickets.
And like I said, again, 4 Hub City Stompers shows coming up within a 1-month period at the end of the summer here. August 27th, New Jersey. August 28th, Brooklyn. 9/11, Connecticut. And then the 19th at Supernova. Everyone who's asking me all these over the past 20 months if we was playing again, here's your chance. I don't know what's happening after this, so hit it up.
You heard it. You heard it here first, guys. So thank you very much, Mr. Reverend. I don't know what to call you. Trav.
I have one more question for Tim Receiver, actually.
Okay, he's here. He said he could write a book with all the few crybabies he had to deal with.
What about my freedom? I almost said it with a straight face. I almost said it with a straight fucking face.
Oh my gosh. Like, for real, there was yesterday, 2 days ago, driving down the highway on the overpass, there was people with a huge sign on the overpass talking about their freedom and masks vaccinations. No, masks.
Their freedom to hang dumb shit over an overpass.
Yeah.
There you go. There's your freedom.
So.
I'm sorry. So the whole debacle, it's hilarious.
It is. It's kind of ridiculous.
But hey, we'll be. What can I say? We're all poked. We'll all be there. All I guess is poked. The Snow Queen's poked. We'll be there. We'll be ready to party. What can I tell you?
That's right. So we will see you guys at Supernova here in just a few weeks. Thanks for hanging out with me, and thank you guys for hanging out with us on Ska Talk. And we'll see you next week. I'm going to do a special edition of Ska Talk next week from LA, because I'm going to be out in LA rehearsing for Mr. Kingpin's set. And I found a super crazy cheap ticket. Of course, I have to suffer through an airplane ride on Delta, no less.
Yo, I'm going to Kansas. I have to fly to Kansas City with the Snow Queen, and we're going to be on Delta Airlines most likely. I was like, really? At least I get to see my boys Rico and Jim, but still.
Yeah. So, so catch us next week about 5 o'clock, and we'll see you guys later.
Looking forward to volume 2 and 3. I'll catch you soon, homie.
All right, man. Good to see you.
We'll do a post Supernova.
Yeah.
So
we actually I'm probably going to go live during shenanigans,
oh, that's a great idea.
Tomfoolery.
Maybe if you're lucky while you're going live, Jenny, myself, and maybe Pat Baptista, if she learns the chords real fast, we'll do our COVID-19 version of Sharky 17.
Uh-oh. All right, guys. Take it easy.